But we have the lovely Cassandra Peterson with us here today, talking about her new book, Yours Cruelly. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing busy.
I bet.
Yeah.
So let's start talking about the book. We have plenty of questions from people that have bought the book, and we definitely want to get to those. But I have to confess, I haven't finished the book yet, but I kind of like taking my time with it. I don't want to rush through it, you know. So one thing I wanted to start with was, as reading this book, I've noticed you've gone, I feel, much deeper into your personal life than most autobiographies do. And it made me feel like, you know, we had a connection. And my question is, was that your aim from the start to go that deep? Or was it something that as you were sort of pulling these memories together that you kind of just slowly went into it deeper?
My aim from the beginning was just throw it all out there. What do I have to lose? I just turned 70 2 days ago, and I'm like, it's time for people to know everything about me, you know, that I've kind of kept quiet about my whole career, because I own a brand, I run a company, and I didn't want to do too much talking about some of the stuff in the book, thinking it might have been detrimental to my income flow. So
Sure.
Finally, when I decided to write a book, I really decided I'm going to say everything. There was some stuff I had to take out due to other people not wanting me to talk about it. But mostly anything I could talk about, I did. I think you'll agree, right?
Yeah, you sure did. It's like I said, it's a very, very interesting look. When I first ordered it, you know, I thought, you know, like, here's a great icon, and you kind of think it's going to stay on that sort of pop surface level, and you see a lot of that. But I was really surprised and pleasantly surprised for you to take us that deep. And I feel it takes kind of...
Fans are going to be surprised, actually, because I think they think it's more about Elvira and my career,
right,
which it does, of course, talk about that, but all the other stuff leading up to that. Yeah.
Right. Great. Okay, so I don't want to waste any more time here. So we're going to dive right into fan questions, because we've got a ton of fan questions, and I think they probably know a lot more about you. Well, not a lot more about you, but they are eager to hear your answers. So the first one we've got is from Terry in Kingwood, Texas, and he is asking, did you ever see the character of Elvira as a symbol of female superiority?
Of female superiority. Well, I would agree with you there, Terry, but no, I never really saw her that way, but I did see her as an equal player, you know, as like, I'm as good as anyone, I'm as good as you, and you know, yes, she's pretty sexy and dim-witted at times, but I think if you just concentrate on the body and maybe the boobs, you miss a lot about Elvira. I think she's actually a little smarter and a little deeper than she would seem on the exterior, or I hope anyway.
Right, yeah, and you kind of dive into that, you know, saying, you know, echoing back to the, I guess, I don't want to spoil too much, but Elvira was kind of the teenage you know, unafraid to say things and just, you know, be you.
Smart ass, know it all all the things that teenagers are, right?
Yeah, right, absolutely. Okay, great. Well, next question comes from Scott, and he's in Fernandina Beach, Florida. And he says, Elvira was ahead of her time and has become such an iconic character, or should he say alter ego. So looking back, is there anything you would have done differently when creating her?
Yeah, that's so funny that you say, Scott, ahead of my time, because I also have been said to me many, many times that Elvira is outdated. So I'm simultaneously ahead of my time and outdated, just so you know. What's the second part? Is there anything I would have...
Is there anything you would have done differently creating her now?
Oh, yes. I would have worn a muumuu and flip-flops. I got myself into that costume, and I don't think a day goes by when I don't curse the fact that I picked such a torturous, tight outfit to wear and high heels like that. I just said, if I would have just started out like wearing a ghost costume, like a sheet of hair or something, would have been so much easier. That's my only regret.
Well, I mean, I'm sure we're glad you didn't take that route.
Probably.
Okay, so Taylor Bookout from Temple, Texas asks, what do you hope Elvira will inspire in future generations, as well as people of all ages when one is first introduced to her?
Well, believe it or not, with my book, I hope that it will inspire people who grew up like me, feeling like they didn't fit in, that they were kind of losers, that they were, bullied and picked on. I hope it will inspire those people to, if they have a dream, that despite what's going on in their life, despite something that may be wrong, I have burn scars on 35% of my body, and for a long time that really held me back. And but I don't know why. I didn't let that deter me. And I want to say to other people, if there's something you had in your childhood, you had acne scars, you were overweight, you had a disability, do not let that hold you back. If you have a dream, go for it, and you will get knocked down 1,001 times. As in my book, you can tell. I mean, I just, it took me until I was 30 to finally get a gig that even paid $300 a week. It was like, oh my God. But I think the key here that I'm trying to get across is perseverance. You don't have to be the most talented person in the world. I'm certainly not. You don't have to be the most beautiful. I'm certainly not. But you do have to persevere and not give up. And that's the key. It might take you a while to get there, but you'll eventually get there.
Yeah, I started, sensing that undertone as I was going through the book, and seeing it becomes more of an inspirational story as you kind of dig deeper and deeper into it. It's not a here's the facts, but it's a here's what I've had to overcome, and you can too. And I think that will strike a chord with a lot of people. The story of.
Yeah, I meant it to be inspirational. I really, really did. I want to be an example for people, and especially for women. That, don't let this or that or whatever, having a bad childhood, to anything, hold you back, no matter what anybody says to you. Just keep forging forward.
That's great. That's great.
You got that. Thanks.
All right. So Joshua from San Diego, California says, hello, Cassandra. Barring COVID-related cancellations, is there anything you can tell us about the Romania tour? Very excited to attend the trip. And I know right below that, Joey from McCool, South Carolina also said, are you excited about the trip to Romania for the 20th anniversary of Elvira's Haunted Hills? Love you so much, gorgeous, and happy birthday. Happy birthday, by the way. I totally missed that.
Thank you. Yeah, 2 days ago, it was my birthday. Yeah, I cannot wait to go back to Romania, and that we're going back with the director of Haunted Hills, Sam Irvin, who I just adore. And I'm looking forward to it so much. I mean, I loved Romania when I was there. I was having a pretty heavy duty work schedule, but the people, the food, the everything, especially the Transylvania region, and I'm not kidding, it's just so beautiful. Used to be the breadbasket of Europe. How do you like that?
Oh, I don't know
but
that.
it's very, very beautiful there. I can't wait to go back to the little towns that we used, Sigishwara, and just see how it has changed. I'm sure it has. But I'm super excited, and I'm so glad I'm going back with a group of people who appreciate the movie and appreciate me. We'll get to hang out, have dinners, go to Dracula's castle. I mean, what could be better than that, right?
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to it so much. I can't wait.
Now, have you done a lot of traveling since COVID kind of taken over? Or have you kind of been?
No, it's funny. I did go to Hungary.
Oh,
that was so bizarre. I was telling people here in LA, I haven't gone west of La Cienega, which is one of the big boulevards, had my house for a year, and then I get a movie role in Hungary. And the next thing I know, there I am in Budapest shooting a movie.
Oh, wow.
So that was interesting. It was fun. It was awesome. I had a great time. Can't talk about the movie yet, unfortunately.
I was going to say, that's a question everybody's going to probably have.
Yeah. Other than that, I've done virtually no traveling whatsoever. No.
It's kind of a blessing and a curse, though, because I'm sure you use this time to kind of finish this book project. How long has that been in the works, writing this book?
Writing this book has been in the works for about 20 years, I would say. I here's basically what happened. Over the years, I've been writing down little stories, making notes, putting things aside, going, this would be good if I ever write a book. This would be good. And in the meantime, all of my friends, I must have had, I don't know, a million people say to me over the years, you've got to write a book, because nobody really knows about me before I was Elvira.
Right.
So I have some pretty wacky tales to tell.
You do.
Yeah, there's your nudity, your sex, your violence.
Yeah, some of the stories had me literally laughing out loud. I won't go into too much detail, but there was a line about Jimmy Page, I believe, that I was reading in my bed and laughed so loud I woke my wife up. And she was like, "What's so funny?"
That is so funny. Someone wrote to me. Who was it? It was one of the people that wrote a quote on the back of the book. I can't remember if it was Kat Von D. Oh no, it was Dita Von Teese. She wrote to me, and she just said that line, and she just sent me a text with that line in it. It's like, ha 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 ha.
That's a really good line.
Dying. Well, that line struck a chord.
It did. Well, you know what? And it kind of, being such a serious situation too, it kind of, I've noticed, that you kind of have that ability to turn anything into humor and to turn that sort of, probably uncomfortable situation into something that you can laugh about now.
Yeah, it could have been a scary situation, right? But
right.
I came out in the one piece and I'm still alive, and so I can laugh at it now. There are a few things in the book that are not very laughable.
Exactly.
Book, yeah, that have happened that I don't really joke about or make fun of, that are pretty serious. But
yeah.
that was one that I can look back on and just go, how ridiculous. And like I said, I came out in one piece, so I was good.
Thank God. So back to, I don't want to skip any more questions here. So we're on Randy from Calgary, Alberta, Canada, north of the border. And he says, I know this is probably the question most asked to you, but I have to know, what was it like to meet Elvis?
It is asked to me a lot, but I love the question because I was a huge Elvis fan before I met him. So meeting him was kind of a dream come true. And then he turned out to not only be a gentleman, be very sweet, very nice, very intelligent, very mystical, which I would have never thought about Elvis. But since then, I found out many things about him, how he was also into what I was into, which was kind of science of the mind, thinking about things and manifesting them. And it all sounds kind of witchy, right? Some of the books I mentioned in my book, Elvis has on his desk at Graceland. I guess they're still there. So I was amazed to find out all this information about him. That blew me away. And he was also very naive. I mean, here he is, 34 years old, chatting away to a 17-year-old girl, but he seemed a little, I don't want to say arrested development, but he seemed more like a teenager emotionally than like a grown-up man. It was a strange thing. But he also was kind and gave me the best advice that anyone could have ever given me, because if I had not taken his advice, I wouldn't be Elvira now. At the time, I was the youngest showgirl in Las Vegas. If not for Elvis, I would now be the oldest showgirl in Las Vegas. I think I would. Yeah. So Elvis saved me. Thank you, Elvis.
So along that line, are there any questions that to you are kind of just like, do not go there anymore? Like, I'm so tired of answering these questions.
Well, the one question I get, I wish I had a little tape recorder I could just switch on with the answer, because it's like, oh, God, how'd you get the role of Elvira? Okay. I go into detail about that a lot in the book.
I was gonna say, buy the book.
Buy the book. I'm not going to tell you anymore. Okay. Yeah, I have said that the answer to that question more times than you would ever want to count. But I do go into very, very tiny detail about it in my book. A lot of the things I've glossed over because there wasn't time in an interview, But yeah, I say a lot of the detail, how it worked out, how I got the job. Yeah, pretty, I guess. I hope.
Well, great. Okay, so Jerry from Canton, Michigan is asking, have you been approached by any streaming services to consider hosting a regularly scheduled horror movie night?
Well, it's funny. I have a couple coming out this fall. I can't really say much about them. One is Shudder. One is
Okay.
going to be a whole evening on Shudder.
Great.
That is awesome because I love Shudder and it's, horror movies all the time.
Yeah.
And so one of them, I'll be hosting a big Shudder special. And another one I cannot say yet because they haven't released the information, but there's another one coming up before Halloween too. And a
So
couple of
hopefully we'll
TV
be seeing
appearances.
plenty more of you.
Yeah, you won't be able to get rid of me. Yeah.
All right, so Adam in Sittingbourne, Kent, United Kingdom, he asks, oh, and I like this question. Being an icon must be very taxing. How do you relax and what is your me time? What do you do? And are there certain songs or anything that help you unwind?
Wow. Well, let's see. How do I relax? Being an icon is hard. I put on my icon robe and get in my icon bed and sleep. That's pretty much what I do when I'm on my downtime because I don't have much downtime really.
Mhm.
I run a business, I don't just show up and
Right.
be Elvira. I own a brand and run a business. So it is pretty much 24/7. I don't have a lot of downtime. But here's the good thing. If you love your work, it's not work. So
Mhm.
I do love my work. People ask what my hobbies are. I don't have hobbies. My work is my hobby. And there are days and moments that, I would rather not be doing
Absolutely.
it. But I 99% of the time enjoy it and love it. And it is amazing to me that I have become what people call an icon. That freaks me out. I'm like, I didn't know the word, and now I am one.
I was gonna say, do you consider yourself an icon? Is there a point where like, that you hit and you're like, wow, I guess I am kind of something?
I do now. For years, I kept saying, "Oh, I'm not an icon." Now I kind of think I am. I think I have become. Elvira has become a symbol for a national holiday, almost an international holiday, and I mean, I'm kind of like Santa Claus at Christmas. Built out the
Much
ear.
more attractive Santa Claus. So, okay, so Steve from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Boy, we're getting a lot of international questions here.
Yeah, I love
He
that.
says, "Hi, Elvira. How do you always manage to be so damn charming? I am the opposite. No one likes my personality. Any tips?"
Wow. Well, read my book, Steve, and I'm going to give you some pointers on how to be charming and how to have a good personality. I don't know. How am I so charming? I'm not always. You should ask my manager. He was just here. I know he wouldn't call me charming right now, but I think I think maybe it just has to do with loving what you do, loving your career, not being like, oh, I have to get up and go do this crappy job every day, but
Mhm.
loving it, having fun, and I don't know. I'm glad you think I'm charming. Thank you. You
I
might
think I
pick my
remember hearing that if you could have another job, you'd want to be a therapist. So I feel like a lot of these questions are kind of people are using you as their therapists.
Yeah, there you go. Well, I charge 200 an hour, so just remember that.
Okay, so Tom from Golden Valley, Minnesota asks, do you think there's a chance that movie makers will go back to the classic style of horror movies instead of the blood and gore? Films that leave something to the imagination like the classics did.
I do, and I think those are coming back. I think they've just poured it all out there, and it's like there's nowhere else to go. I mean, every cut off head and disemboweled it's like I think it's all been done now. I mean, and to me, I like horror movies that leave more to your imagination because I think in your imagination is the scariest place.
Right.
You can imagine things that nobody else could put on film. But all the CGI and all the effects they have today, I don't find them as scary as something like the shower scene in Psycho, in which you didn't see a damn thing happen. You saw blood
Right.
splatter going down the drain. But that movie scared the living hell out of me for so many years. I couldn't handle it. So I do think they're going back a little bit to that. I've seen a few movies more recently. I can't, of course, think of any of them, but I think The Witch. I don't know if you saw The Witch, but I thought that was a fantastic example where not a lot really happens, but I was just scared crapless the whole time. And it just left that much, to your imagination. I thought it was beautiful storytelling. I like it going back to like the ghost stories that you heard as a little kid around the campfire, And so I hope those do come back, and I think they are. And I also think when women get more involved with horror, a lot of them do that more psychological thing. There is a movie out there now, and I can't think about the name, but it was a female writer, director, and very much psychological terror, not a lot of blood or gore, but scary as hell.
Yeah, that was actually one of my personal questions to you is what do you think of all these, like, do gore movies do it for you? Which for me personally, they don't. It's the psychological sort of things like Ari Aster's stuff is phenomenal.
Yeah.
He uses a little bit of that gore, but it's so realistic. And talk about, strong female characters. Both of those lead characters are females. So,
but yeah, blood. It's not the blood and gore that bothers me. I like blood and gore. I mean, I think if it's done right, it's really awesome. It's the slasher kind of movies, the victimization of a woman, here's the guy chasing people to kill them, I like it better when the guy is a fantasy creature, not like a psycho or, I mean, I don't know. It's not blood and guts that bother me. My hands get really big when I do this.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So Jamie from Oshkosh, Wisconsin asks, and this is a good one too. You've been loved by horror fans forever. Do you ever get tired of Elvira and the horror genre, or are you one who is in love with the darkness like most of your fans?
I never get tired of Elvira or horror movies or the dark side. Never, never. I mean, I thought for a while, I'd go off and do other real acting jobs as myself. And I just got way too down the rabbit hole of horror to even want to do that anymore or care about doing it. And no, I'm happy where I am. I'm not like, there's so many actors that do films like, I don't know, like the Star Trek series or Star Wars. And then they really want to get away from being pigeonholed as that character, Me, no, I like to stay right here.
Well, good. Yeah, okay, so Marcella from Downey, California asks, this question is for Cassandra, so it's a two-parter. So one's for Cassandra, one's for Elvira. This question's for Cassandra. What is your favorite horror movie of all time? Which I think if people read the book, they'd probably be able to tell.
Yeah, it's going to be, other than Elvira Mistress of the Dark, which I don't know if I'd categorize as horror, but other than that, it is House on Haunted Hill. Starring Vincent Price, my idol. And that movie is very, very important to me because it's the first horror movie I saw, and it changed my life. It really impacted me in both bad and good ways. I remember having nightmares for a month after the damn thing. But I saw it when I was like 8 years old, William Castle film. And it was just, changed my whole life. I became obsessed with seeing horror movies from that time on. And I think 8's a little young to do that. But back then the movies were not quite so,
Right.
I wouldn't encourage anybody to let their children watch a lot of the horror movies that are out there now, certainly. But back then it was tame enough that I really, really loved it. And I still do. So that's my answer for Cassandra.
Okay, and I have a quick follow-up with that. Is since House on Haunted Hill was your favorite movie, I know you then developed a relationship with Vincent Price. What was that like? How was that the first time meeting him?
Oh, it was fantastic. Look, I have a picture I keep here of me together. It was I couldn't even speak or breathe or anything. He came on my show, Movie Macabre, which was still a little local TV show, in LA. And he came on and I had to act with him. I couldn't even, my knees were weak. I was dying. And he was so charming and sweet and funny that I felt relaxed after a little bit, but I got to know him very well over the years because we couldn't turn up on a single show without the other one being there. You know, if it was
Yeah.
a word show, if it was a talk show, I was there, Vincent was there. And so
Well, you were the first lady and the president of horror.
I know. It was awesome. And we had a great time together. I just adored him.
Great. And Cyrus had a follow-up with that from Bastrop, Texas. He said, I'd love to know Vincent Price's method for cooking fish in a dishwasher.
Yes, he did teach me how to do that. Okay, you take a piece of fish, you wrap it really tight in aluminum foil. That is the key. You don't want any dirty, soapy water going in. And then you put it in your dishwasher, turn it on, really, you know, a hot cycle, clean your dishes, and your dinner's done when you take it out.
But doesn't that make your dishwasher smell like fish?
Oh, the key is wrapping it really tightly in heavy duty aluminum foil. Okay, everybody? Yeah.
That's good. Okay, so the second part of that original question was, what was your favorite commentary as Elvira?
Oh, you mean of all the commentary I've done? Good Lord, there's too many, I think, to remember one. My favorite one, yikes. Probably the stuff I did with Night of the Living Dead. I've done that movie like about a dozen times. I don't know, and I always like it. I always love it. I don't know. I've done so much commentary on so many movies. It would be really impossible to pick one. Sorry, you stumped me.
That's okay. Okay, so Michael from Columbia, Missouri says, I would love to see a collaboration with you and Joe Bob Briggs. Has there been any discussion to have you guest star on The Last Drive-In or do a joint live show sometime?
He has asked me to do that, and I would have loved to do it, but I'm off doing my other projects, and just because of time, haven't been able to do it. But I adore him. We did do a show together one time years ago. I went on his show, and this was a million years ago. But yeah, he asked me to come on, and I just haven't been able to get the time to do it. But he's brilliant. I love him. Such a great guy. And he really keeps the whole hosting thing alive, you know?
Yeah. And Michael G. from Everly, Iowa, he says, hello, Elvira. I must say your darkness is the only kind I'd love to get in. I mean, your humor. And his question was, who are your favorite photographers that you've worked with?
Favorite photographers? Dude, God, I hope I can think of anybody's names. My brain's fried, guys. Who have I worked with that were really? I worked with some very famous photographers. The most recent one, okay, the one who took my photo recently for my book is Pamela Lipke. She's a giant rock photographer, very famous rock photographer. Lynn Goldberg, one of the world's most famous rock and roll photographers. They seem to, the rock people seem to really be able to capture me. There's another guy, Austin Young, who does, you should see his work online, look him up. He does really bizarre, interesting, weird stuff, mostly with drag queens, which are right into that mold. So
yeah, that actually, that you led right into our next question, because Max asked, when did you know you were a gay icon?
I think when I was born. I don't know. I've been doing nothing but hanging out with gay men my whole entire life. And there was never really a day where I go, wow, you know, I'm really happening with the gay crowd. Little by little. I mean, I feel like a drag queen. I feel like I am a drag queen. I commiserate with many of my drag queen friends all the time about dressing up, putting on the makeup, wearing the heels and all of that. I think, except for tucking, we're exactly like.
So another question you probably get a lot along those lines too is, and you're probably sick of answering it, is how long does it take for you to become Elvira?
Yeah, it used to be about an hour and a half. Now it's taking me longer. You'd think it'd get quicker, right? Longer now. The older I get. Ask me next year, it'll be 4.5 days. Yeah, it's a 2-hour process. And I do the makeup myself because in the beginning, I learned that if I was traveling around and I had a makeup artist, no matter how wonderful they were, they would do my makeup and I wouldn't look the same. I'd always look a little bit different. So it quickly dawned on me, if anybody's going to do the makeup, got to be me. I couldn't
And it's all
somebody with
it's
me.
all kind of in the character. It's part of the character. It's part of you, being extended on as a visible. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Before that, I possibly would have had Robert Redding, who came up with the makeup, who was my best friend at the time, travel around with me and do my makeup, but he sadly passed away during the AIDS epidemic, and he taught me how to do it, thank God, and so I have to rely on me for that.
All right, here's another really cool question. Leslie from Altoona, Iowa says, it's widely believed that Bela Lugosi wore his Dracula cape to the great beyond. Will you make that journey dressed as Elvira or Cassandra?
Yeah, that's a good question. I've been thinking about that. I went over to Hollywood Forever Cemetery not long ago with Pee Wee Herman. Okay, me and went over to the cemetery together because we're looking for a plot for our very dear friend John Paragon, who just passed away, who was not only my writer but also Pee Wee's writer. And we went over
John
there.
B, right?
He was John B. Yeah, and that's always what I call him. My whole life, he was John B, I was Elvira, and Pee Wee is Pee Wee. I sometimes call him PW, but that's as far as it goes. Yeah, we decided on our plots. Me and Pee Wee, we were talking about what we're going to do and what our tombstones are going to say. At least I decided on that. It's going to be, I was more than just an incredible pair of boobs. I was also a pair of legs. So that's but what I'll wear, I don't know. I think I'll be a pile of ashes, so it won't really matter.
All right. And talk about Paul has a character too that he's kind of lived. So you two probably have this bond that is just unbreakable because you're always on.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
No, Paul and I are like this. We are an exclusive club. It's me and him.
Yeah, and Santa Claus.
Never joins us.
So James from, I'm going to torture this town, Queen Biam, New South Wales, Australia. He asks, will you come to Australia?
Queen Bee? Yes. Queen Biam. I mean, my company is called Queen Bee Productions, so I should live there. I love Australia. I've been there many times. I would love to come over there. Send me a ticket. I'll be there.
Have you ever had anybody buy you a ticket?
Just PR places and film companies. Yeah.
To say, there's probably some fans out there that you've had some experiences with.
They might. They send me some wacky things.
I'm sure. Nathan from Plano, Texas asks, is it true the name Elvira came from the Oak Ridge Boys song of the same name?
Well, I don't know if that's true. It did and it didn't. When we were doing the show, they were going to call me Vampira. And we started shooting the first show ever. And somebody ran in and said, stop the show. You cannot use the name Elvira. Vampira is owned by someone. Vampira. So we were standing there. I was thinking, oh my God, this is the end of the gig. It's all over. We can't do it. When the director said, pick another name and we'll go with it. So everybody that was on the set, and that included the lighting guy and the gaffer and the cameraman and myself, we wrote our name that we thought the character should be named on a scrap of paper, threw it in a Folgers coffee can. I picked one and I got Elvira. It was like, ew, Elvira, oh my God, sounds like that country western. But that was it. We had to go with it. And that song by the Oak Ridge Boys had literally come out the same week. So I don't know if the person who wrote that of the song, or if they had just picked a kind of witchy name like Elvira Madigan, in the movie. I don't know. So could be. I never know.
Yeah. Well, here's a bit of trivia for you. Did you know that song is based on a street here in Nashville? So it was the street the guitar player lived on.
I did. I heard about that. I read an interview with the Oak Ridge Boys, and there was actually a picture of the street sign.
Yeah.
And I imagine it was was Elvira, because it was probably Spanish.
Yeah, it actually, I think the origin of it means like pale or white or something like that is what Elvira, the Spanish translation is, or something like that. So Scott from Scotland, Ontario, Canada wants to know, what is one movie that you wish you...
Scott.
I know, it's the Day of Scots. So what is one movie you wish you could have been the main actress in? So in the history of cinema, I guess.
History of cinema, the main actress. I didn't think about that. Let's see. Okay, well, yeah, it's not horror related, but maybe Viva Las Vegas with Elvis Presley and Anne Margaret. I wanted to be Anne Margaret so bad when I was a kid. You'll see that in my book. I really kind of based my life on her. And yeah, that would have been great if I was playing that role instead of Anne Margaret, but I was only 14 at the time, so, and I lived in Colorado, so it didn't really work out. That's it. It's a dorky movie. If you haven't seen Viva Las Vegas, it's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. So Matthew from New Britain, Connecticut, he asks, what puppets in horror movies? I love them. What are some of the best and then worst and then best again puppets you've seen in film? Bonus if they are wet.
Puppets? Okay, I don't know. The Gremlins? I don't know.
There you
go. Puppets?
I think Matthew has an inside joke.
Does the Crypt Keeper count? He's a
sure.
And I know the person who does the voice very well. Yeah, okay. Well, let's go with the Crypt Keeper. I always keep saying I'm slowly but surely turning into the Crypt Keeper as I get older.
Oh, stop.
But yeah, puppets. So there are a lot of puppets. I did work awesome. It was a Charles Band movie that had those awesome puppets in it. Damn it. Well, hello, duh. It's the Puppet Master.
Oh, there you go.
Hey, I thought of something. That's a miracle. God. Okay.
Great. Okay, so on from puppets. Larry from Clarksburg, West Virginia asks, well, he says it's an honor for us to, or for you to be joining us fans, and he would like to ask a question if given the opportunity, of course. If given the opportunity to sit down and speak with someone right now, dead or alive, who would that person be? And he also says, thank you for blessing us with your beauty, mind, macabre laughter.
Oh, sitting down and talking to someone right now, my God. Well, besides personal friends of mine that have passed, it would probably be Vincent Price again, or maybe Elvis, because I wish I had the chance to thank Elvis, honestly, for completely changing my life. I don't know if if I said it already, but if not Elvis, yeah, I would be the oldest showgirl in Vegas right now, right? So yeah, I was the youngest, now I'd be the oldest. But Elvis gave me some advice that changed the trajectory of my life, and it still from that point was a long twisty turny way around, but it'd be awesome to go back and be able to thank Elvis for what he did for me. I don't think he realized what a big impact he made on my life, and I always thought I'd see him again someday and would be able to thank him, and then sadly, of course, he passed before I ever got to. So yeah, I'd probably go back and do that. And
good. We all owe him a debt of gratitude.
Yeah. And I was underage then, so now I'm overage, so I would maybe be able to get a little more friendly with Elvis than I was able to. Always go. All right. This opportunity. Oh, shoot.
So Perry from Costa Mesa, California, he asks, you're very well known as Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, a character you created. If you decided to create an original character today, what would your character be like? I'm assuming he's talking about in the current environment and situation. So Moomoo's aside.
God, that would be hard to say. Yeah, if I created it today, the only thing I can think of is I'd make a much more comfortable outfit. I don't know. Moo and the flip-flops. Yeah. Okay. Like that. But yeah, create a character today based like a horror character. Good heavens. I don't know. I haven't thought about doing another one. That's a hard one. I don't know what, I just know I'd wear a comfortable dress. That's all. Yeah.
All right, this one comes from Matthew in Conneautville, Pennsylvania. I happen to know where that is. And he says, "Hi Cassandra, what is your favorite food? I know you love to cook." And he says, "Plus, I think you're the sexiest woman alive."
Oh, wow. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, I'll make dinner for you. I love cooking Italian food. I lived in Italy, and before I went there, I didn't know how to even boil water. And I was forced to learn to cook over there. And so anything Italian, any Italian food, especially vegetarian Italian. Italy's the one country you can go to and eat vegetarian every single day at every restaurant, and you would never have a problem finding food that's vegetarian. So yeah, anything Italian.
Is there a plan for a cookbook in the future, or?
I have been thinking about a creepy cookbook from
There
Elvira.
you go.
I think that would be kind of fun. Yeah.
That would be a lot of fun. So we're running out of time here. So let's see if I can find one last question. Okay, here's a good one.
Okay.
So Anna from La Cala del Mora, she asks, what does Elvira mean to you, and what advice would you give your old self if you could?
That's funny. I did a book once. I was interviewed and about what would you tell your 16-year-old self? And that probably would be, just don't give up, no matter how hard the going gets. Just keep going, persevere. I mean, that is my message for this book. It really is, to anybody who felt like they didn't fit in. And that's all you want to do as a kid and a teenager, is fit in.
Right.
It's so weird. And I would just let them know, if you don't feel like you fit in, do not worry, because you're going to grow up to be the unique, creative individuals that the people who fit in are not. So just keep going. And that's my advice to you.
All right. Well, I feel like that's a good time to sort of wrap everything up. So I want to thank you for being here. Your book's still available at premiercollectibles.com/cruelly. You were generous enough. We sold out almost immediately before this live signing, but you were generous enough to provide some more copies for us. So would you like to say anything before we sign off here?
I don't know. Just buy the book, damn it. Here, I have thousands of them behind me. I'll start sending those out. But this book was a long time in the making, and I really hope all of you read it and enjoy it. I've got the audiobook coming down the line, and yeah, please just enjoy it. I hope it's more than just a fun read. I hope it actually makes a little bit of difference in your life. It could. You never know.
I certainly think it will. Once again, thank you so much for being here. It's been an honor and a pleasure to be speaking with you. So at this time, we'd like to thank you all for tuning in and for your questions. It's been a blast. And don't forget to check us out for more live signings. So thank you, Cassandra. Have a great night.
Thank you. You too, Scott. Thanks so much.
No problem.
Hey, this is John Acuff, New York Times best-selling author of 7 books and someone who's done a live signing. If you like the one you just watched, make sure you check out our YouTube channel. It's full of amazing authors having great conversations and signing books for viewers just like you. So make sure you subscribe, and thanks for watching today.